you guys have always been at the cutting edge. I just want to take a moment, moment of silence where I'm going to speak about that. You guys have always been ahead of the curve with this. You have such innovative ideas and know how to really get ahead of the curve, kind of, and really make sure that this is going to be kind of the cutting edge of whatever we're talking about. And I just want to appreciate that and give a moment to just kind of recognize that for the viewers. Anyone that might just be now joining us, I'm not going to catch up what we just said. Just rewind it. This is all pre-recorded, so just go back and it's live for us. But yeah, just hit the rewind button and yeah, it's pretty awesome, honestly.
The war is the gospel.
Illegal crimes. Oh yeah, illegal crimes. These crimes are in fact illegal. Illegal crimes. When you think about it, aren't all crimes illegal?
I'm just trying to get in my office space right now. I fucking changed the locks again, so I got to do something real quick. But just take me a minute here. But I can hear you, so we could go ahead and start this. It's Delaware Dan, your lawyer. Back in action.
About the guys, I'm going to do this on mic. I'm about to crack open this Arizona Energy watermelon flavor. They sell these at the Arco gas station in Midtown Memphis near my apartment. Shout out to Arco gas station.
Yeah, I hear good things about that Arco.
Hey there, folks. It's Delaware Dan. Does your family suffer from the regrettable fact that vapes are actually chemtrails being solicited by secret fedora-owning magicians perpetuating magic tricks with sticky tip dips being sold by pharmaceutical corporations whose main profit margins were generated by an illegal crime segment currently being aired on the 7-Eleven Boys podcast, which resulted in the capture of Dunbar, whose bounty hunter was a 69-year-old former biker named Jockstrap who was singing several bass melodies from popular songs by the band Stained? No problem. Call Delaware Dan for this exact issue. 302-420-6969. It's the easy way to remember that. Extension 6. Call Delaware Dan for this exact issue. If this is happening to you, we got your back.
There's always like 20 crackheads in the parking lot. I'm always completely outnumbered when I walk in. It's a good time.
I think that just comes with territory. Some places you go, that's going to be the case. It's is what it is.
The credit card reader on the gas pumps never works. You always got to go inside.
Just a carnival of errors.
Exactly.
It's like a 9-11. It's like a 7-Eleven, but a little different.
Did you say the 9/11 of gas stations?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Never forget. Dan, what do you got going on over there?
I'm trying to get into my office. Sorry, I thought my phone was off, but I'll figure this out. But I mean, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
You're coming in crystal.
I guess I'm on Wi-Fi, so that's good. Down around the way, I don't necessarily get the best service, audio or phone service at all. So it's mostly audio. So I'm just surprised you can hear me.
Dan, I actually spent Christmas in Newark, Delaware.
Oh, no way. Yeah, I know where that is. That's in the northern part of Delaware. It's a pretty
I'm
good.
not talking about the slower lower. I'm talking about Newark. I'm talking about Kirkwood Highway.
Oh, I'm very familiar with Kirkwood Highway. Kirkwood Highway is probably top 10 highways in the United States.
Stop at the Wawa there.
Oh, yeah. Those are good. For whatever reason, I wasn't allowed to go there. But I spent quite a bit. I used to conduct business dealings there, especially in the bathrooms. Very familiar. They keep them relatively clean, except for the one, of course, you're right there on, was it 276 or whatever? I just forget the thing. The street that becomes Main Street. It's like 240. I forget the numerical name of the highway, but it's over there somewhere.
There's one in Newark by a McDonald's, and I've seen Newark police sitting, like hiding in the McDonald's parking lot across the street, spying on the Wawa parking lot with binoculars before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a pretty normal thing. There used to be well, on that topic, there's the exit near Denny's by the Christiana skating rink. And over there, man, they would do sting operations. And one time, somebody named Nathaniel was cracking beers under the table at the Denny's and fell asleep. And so I went into the bathroom to urinate, and standing right next to me was full body gear. I guess it's not an uncommon sight these days, but full body gear, tactical vest, and big shotgun and everything, just whizzing. And I was just pissing next to this officer of the law, and I was very stoned. I was a kid at the time. It's not illegal anymore, so I guess I'm not really incriminating myself per se, but it's pretty interesting.
It was not an illegal crime?
At the time it was.
Yeah. The defunct Bureau of Urinals, no? Yeah.
Pretty much. And being intoxicated in any amount within a 50-foot radius of those types of urinals that have been patrolled by these specific military or police guys is a punishable offense. Back in this was 20 years ago in the year 2005.
Yes, 2005.
You got to watch out for those police guys.
Yes.
Yeah, there's they are the law, and we're just here to kind of go over. I got some papers here that have laws on them, so we can. But you had some requests. You put in a verbal request through voicemail, I believe, for some legal advice. I just want to say, I know we're doing a video. I have to keep my face obscured just because they haven't upgraded the security system in this in my office. So it's just pretty much the AI will read my face and call the police. Speaking of which, legally I am allowed to be represented here in this representation of an office, which is really an office, but I just need to kind of be forthright with this and lay it all on the table. So yeah, just if you're wondering about the disguise, it's not really a disguise. It's just to kind of ensure that the legality of this meeting is fully underneath the purview of the umbrella of the kind of laws and stuff. So that I'm here representing with you. I'm representing you.
I understand.
Now, is that private law or public law?
It's a weird kind of liminal space between the two, where private and public kind of meet. Almost think of it as when you're washing your hands in a bathroom that has stalls with the doors that close. That would be private, and then public is outside the bathroom. This is in, the baby changing table. There might be some employees must wash hands, trabajo, and all that. So, it's pretty much. I would think of it more as we're washing our hands of the issue.
Yeah, because temporally speaking, when you're in these spaces, you don't know if you're going to be dealing with the Bureau of Urinals and their law enforcement arm, and you don't know if the many dozens of private law enforcement that operate on behalf of these urinal companies. American Standard cops are known to be much more tough than Kohler cops and Sloan cops. Now, we all remember the American Standard brutality cases of the middle to slightly less middle 2000s.
Of course, we're all very familiar with that. We're well versed. Now, is this one of those woke bathrooms, or is this a traditional American bathroom?
I don't judge nobody, but I don't really know for sure. I did not notice a obscene amount of heavy cream on the ground, so that was kind of one. Also, Nick, to your point, 100%. agree on everything that you just said. 89% of which I would say that we have started an initiative at Prayer Force One, among many other street legal teams and all this, to rename the Bureau of Urinals the Urinals. So that's kind of where we're at with that at the moment.
And we salute you for your service, all the great work going on at Prayer Force One.
You know, it's the least we can do in these trying times here in Delaware, which is a state in the United States. There's no offshore capabilities, although plenty of people do it. That's a different scenario, but we get our funding mostly through property taxes, tolls, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
No sales tax though, not in Delaware.
nope. One of 2 states ever to do that. The other one being New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I just belched into my own face. Excuse
Yeah.
me 1 second. I have to.
All this talk of passing and gas and everything.
Oh, well, the price of gas has only gone up. So.
Yeah, and funnels too.
Yep. Oh yeah. You know, I always thought they should design some kind of apparatus that goes around your junk while you're driving, and it funnels it in, and they find a way to use the urine stream as a revenue stream somehow. I don't know. There might be a market for this. So if anyone's watching this knows how to convert, you know, we could call it, I don't know, U-coins or something like that.
Ucoins is good. I strongly believe that we're not utilizing urine turbines to their fullest kinetic, energetic potential. I'm a strong believer of that.
Does your family suffer from the distinct ability to shit at such a velocity as to create a sonic boom, causing the impairment of several aging senators' already failing synapses and hearing aid feedback channeled through quantum threads inside the backdoor access that the FBI has to your devices that trace 10 of your worst Google searches through an AI render reconstructions of said searches that will get you arrested upon hearing this advertisement? Then it's time to turn yourself in. Call Delaware Dan for legal support in this exact issue. 302 is the area code. 302-420-6669, extension 69. Call Delaware Dan, no problem.
I need legal advice, and I had reached out to Bayview Bunkie, but because he does not have a phone, and I am not in Baltimore currently, and I was not able to go to Bayview. I was not able to get in contact with him. I don't know if he got my letters.
So I did actually go down to Howard R. Young Correctional Facility, aka Gander Hill. I took a gander, if you will, at Gander Hill, and he did get his sentence. He should be out any day now. He shall be released. And you know, if he got your letters, you know, he gets a lot of letters just because of the way he used to conduct business. Sometimes those letters arrive in less than savory ways. That's all I'm allowed to say on the matter. But pretty much, that's great you reached out to him. I'm sure he appreciates it. And as soon as he is out and about, you know, all over Baltimore, which Gander Hill is technically in Delaware. That's a separate thing. He had to go up there, and then now he's coming back. So got a couple things down the pipeline with him. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. But yeah, so I mean, what was your inquiry?
Well, I have a story I want to run by you, and I am gonna try to. Well, I suppose there's no way to officially link me to this story or to link the other people because I was not involved in the official police report portion of the story, as far as I know. And I think there's actual ongoing litigation about this story. But this happened to me. This was during the summer. I assume, you know, we had talked about this before. I think you are licensed to practice law in the state of Tennessee. I'm not totally sure. Or if you come here, it then becomes part of the Delaware Autonomous Zone, and therefore you can practice here.
It carries over.
It does. Yep.
I'm going to regale you guys with a little story of something that happened. So I was working construction, and my boss, who I'm not going to name, he had bought a bunch of we kept going out to the boonies, like way outside of Memphis, I'm not going to say the name of the county, but it's like it's a redneck county. And we were picking up, one day we went out there to pick up like plastic pipes, like culverts, like giant ones. And then we came back to pick up multiple times like timber and various other kinds of wood and lumber products and cinder blocks from like this weird farm kind of like compound. And the first time we went out there was a guy named Cracker Jack who came out to greet us, who apparently had nothing to do with this Craigslist sale of culvert pipes. And he had a broken arm in a sling, and he started talking to us, butting up with us, and then asked my coworker, who is a black man, if we had any weed. We told him that we did not, and then he went away. His part of the story is now over. He does not come back into this story.
Okay,
But
good to know.
We come back another time. And I'm also going to preface this earlier in the day, and this will provide some foreshadowing too. Earlier in this same day, our boss is lecturing us about, I don't know if any of you guys have ever pulled a trailer on a truck with a pickup truck, but you have to make sure that you have the right ball on the truck to fit into the receptacle on the trailer to pull it. Otherwise, it can easily become detached. And it was this very same day he scolded us about it because we almost did a move within the work yard, the job site we were at, where we almost put the wrong one on, or we almost tried to attach it with the wrong ball. And so then we take the truck out to the boonies later that day, verging on the evening time. We get out there and we had two trailers, and it was this very convoluted mission where one of the trailers we were loading up with giant logs, and we were going to come back for that one the next day. And we bought a trailer off this guy, the guy from Craigslist or whatever, who like his dad owned this farm. And it was
Just to be clear, this is not Cracker Jack. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, Cracker Jack's part of the story is over. He lives on that compound somewhere. It's this very strange, like you drive up this hill past a big pond, and then you're in like this farm, but there's like little houses, and there's like a house with a bunch, like a puppy mill with like German shepherds and cages. There was a house where their whole yard was like they built like a fort out of pallets. It was very strange and eerie. And so, but the guy who was selling us this stuff was a pretty normal kind of farmer guy, and he did not like the Cracker Jack or any of the shenanigans of any of the other people there. So my boss is messing around with this trailer, this rinky-dink fucked up trailer that it was full of I-beams, like steel I-beams, like probably about 7,000 pounds of steel. Mm-hmm. And he has me pull the truck up. Once he finally got it, I guess they had to like put new tires on it to fish it out of it. Was like it had been sitting there for years, and they put new tires on it, and he gets it set up, and then we're gonna attach it to the truck. And I point out right before we're about to do this that this thing does not appear to be street legal. It does not appear to be safe for highway travel. There's no safety chain on it. There's a lot of problems with it. But my boss is like, no, it's fine. We'll just go slow. We'll get back to Memphis. It'll be fine. He attaches it. He is driving. We make it down this steep hill to get out of this property. We then, thinking if at any point if it's going to detach, it'll be on this hill. And then we go down this hill, and you have to go up another hill to get out of this weird compound area. And it was about halfway up the second hill.
Sorry, keep going. No, that's fine.
We're about halfway up the second hill, and then my boss just goes, "Oh, fuck," and slams on the brakes. And I look in the rearview mirror, and the trailer has detached from the truck and is speeding down this hill on this dirt road. And we all jump out of the truck and start running after it. My one coworker, he almost catches up to it, but my boss is like, no, like stop, don't touch it. You're going to get hurt. And it stopped for a minute on the hill. It like hit something and then it started rolling again full speed. And there were a couple places it could have gone. It could have gone straight down the hill where it would have crashed into about 5 parked cars at the bottom of the hill. Mind you, it's a rinky-dink trailer, open top, full of very heavy steel I-beams. Then it could have also taken a left and it would go straight into a pond, or it could take a right and crash into a house. It hits a bump, goes airborne, crashes into this kind of it's kind of a carport, like garage shed type. It's like it's connected to the house, but the house was almost up on stilts and it's the lower area. And it just tears this tin roof.
Let me stop you right there. How high of a leap would you say that this I-beam carrying trailer had went?
I'd say it went up about 4 feet.
All right, noted.
And then it landed and it crashed into this the under area of this house. And
did it sweep?
Sorry,
Nick goes first, and I'll go after him.
No, you go.
So did it sweep the legs?
It did not. It crashed into like a tin. I actually have video, not a video of the impact, but the aftermath. It essentially just tore up a like tin roof, a very cheaply constructed tin roof. And luckily the I-beams did not go airborne. And so it is, the damage is, it's kind of was the best case scenario considering how horrendously bad this could have gone. My boss also informed me that he realized about halfway up the driveway that he was like, man, he said right before it detached, he realized like, I better go put a safety chain on this thing before we get on the highway. And then right when he had that thought, he looked back and it was just going down. So what had happened was the correct ball was not put on the truck to attach to this particular trailer. It was the ball that was used for the trailer that we had left. And he was in charge of this. It was on him.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. There's a couple things, couple legal notes that I just was taking down just to kind of show the audience here. I did take notes. So here's what I got so far. This had nothing to do with Cracker Jack. Pallet was for T-beams, and it was a normal farmer who was anti-shenanigan. You purchased legally, as with tender goes, to garnish these I-beams in a trailer. Couple things. First off, potentially, pursuing an unmanned vehicle in excess of 25 miles an hour. That's kind of the first illegal crime, but I think that the judges are going to be willing to overlook this if we go for a plea bargain. And other than that, legally speaking, there's not much that I can necessarily advise, except for the fact that there was a 0 points made in the demolition. If this was something like Crazy Taxi or something, that would have been maximum points. There would have been bonus points, 100%. I'm not saying that it ended up being a good thing that this didn't get worse. You're right. This is the best case scenario. There was a failure to sweep the legs, and the fact that it had only gotten about 4 feet in the air. Had it reached maybe like 9 or 10 feet, that would have been even more bonus points. If this was a Crazy Taxi situation in which our panel we would review with a panel of people, and kind of they give their ratings, and this is all admissible in court. So ultimately, I think it comes down to the ball manufacturers. They're the ones that are at fault here, just because maybe there's something about the way that they engineered it that was contributory and part and parcel, joint and several. Liability is in the state of Maryland and Delaware is a real thing. It's an actual thing where they're joint and several. So I wouldn't worry about anything though. I would just, my advice to you and your boss would just be lay low for a little bit. Maybe take a vacation in Chattanooga. They got some whitewater rafting there.
It's a
Not this
beautiful
time.
town.
It's
Choo
pretty
choo.
exactly. And this time of year, I don't know if you go whitewater rafting, but I don't know if that's like a euphemism or if that's a real thing. But it seems like it's just anywhere that's not the Louisiana town that you said was out. What town was this in?
Tennessee. I'm
Tennessee.
not
Yeah.
going to say the name of the town, but it's in an unincorporated rural area of western Tennessee. Now,
More of
I
a
would like to finish this story, however, as more unfolds.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. No, that's just the first. I just want to get the first kind of legalese out the way.
So, we are now dealing with the aftermath of the crash. It is at this point that my boss phones the man, the farmer who he bought the trailer from, who, funny enough, did tell us that the second we leave the property, it is now our responsibility and he's not liable for that trailer.
I was going to say, what is the anti-shenanigans normal farmer have anything to do with it? But that is interesting. He made that move. He might have had. There might be something to that.
Be that as it may, he then drives down in his truck to survey the damage and to try to help us out. And upon arriving and seeing which particular person's property we hit, he became very standoffish and informed us at this point that he legally is not even allowed to talk to this guy because of some kind of restraining order from some previous illegal crime scenario involving the owner of this home or the renter of this home. And he basically tells us that the guy who owns this place is a really, really bad guy, and we need to get out of there before he comes home because he's going to be drunk and he's going to probably have a gun and try to fight all of us. So,
All right.
and he basically said, he's like, I'm not, we were like, well, can you call him for us? And he's like, I'm not allowed to call this guy. I can give you his number. And my boss tries to call him and the phone is disconnected. So, mind you, it's like 6 or 7 p.m. It's fairly late in the day. Maybe it's 5, but it's late in the day in the summertime. It's like 95 degrees out. The three of us then hurriedly have to throw all the I-beams off of this trailer because there was really, I mean, the trailer was really lodged in, but we had to throw all of them off the trailer, and they're about, maybe 500 pounds a piece. So they're very heavy. I'm talking about weight, not UK currency here. And we throw them off to the side of the road, hoping that we can recoup them later. And so we are then able to attach the trailer and then correctly hook it to the right hitch and pull it out of there, leaving the I-beams. I believe my boss had somehow left his contact info with this individual or given it to the neighbor, the farmer, to give it to the guy he's not supposed to talk to because I think they had some kind of altercation in the past that he alluded to. He also alluded to the fact that this guy had been on the news for some not good things. So it turns out the guy whose home we hit was a former Memphis police officer, and this is got to be an illegal crime, who went to prison for raping women while on duty, like stalking and assaulting women, using his powers as a police officer. So not popular for that reason. And then later, when he got out of prison, he started like an illegal, like an unlicensed, like dog rescue. And his house that he was keeping these animals in was not up to code, and it burned down with all the animals inside. And he was universally hated for this. And so the sheriffs call my boss in later that night and tell him to come in to talk about the incident. And when my boss gets there, of course, the so we also did notice at the time of the incident, there was a ring cam, like a security camera on the house facing out towards where the impact was.
Well, you
And-
gotta get the shiesty and the glasses and the hat you're good.
Well, unfortunately, we were not foresighted. We were not cerebral about this, not knowing that this was going to happen, of course. So this guy finally came home, even though he didn't have a working phone, he sent the footage, or he brought the footage to the sheriff's department and wanted to press charges specifically on all of us, but specifically on my African-American coworker, who was not driving and was clearly in the video attempting to stop the trailer from hitting this guy's house.
Also, notably, did not have weed for Cracker Jack.
He did not, though that was a separate occasion.
It's a character reference.
But that is true. And Cracker Jack could be called in to testify on this. And so
We gotta find Cracker Jack.
we were not given, there was no discovery where we were allowed to be given the footage of the trailer. But apparently my boss told me the footage is fucking unbelievable. You see the whole thing.
Do you have access to the footage?
No, they couldn't give us access. But we can see if you can do a discovery. We can get this footage. So because this man is so hated, the sheriff's department, they hate this guy too, and he's a constant source of problems. And they informed my boss that because technically the second the trailer unhitched from the truck, it's no longer part of a motor vehicle, and therefore it is not a traffic incident. And since it happened not on a public road, but a private road, it is not under police jurisdiction, and it is a civil matter. They also told my boss, basically they were like, fuck this guy. We hate this guy. Don't pay him shit. Just ignore him. And yeah, they said that no illegal crime was committed. My question to you is, it sounds like the sheriff's department was saying that there was no illegal crime, but maybe we're even heroes. Maybe a legal crime was committed in stopping this very, very bad guy.
So in light of what you had just revealed in your testimony here, this is pretty much exactly the type of thing. So when I said earlier, like a crazy taxi type, racking up points type situation unrelated to law, it actually kind of in several ways supersedes the law. A number of reasons. One being that even though there was no style points, there was no excess of 4 feet air jump, you didn't sweep the legs. The fact that you did any damage at all, even as minuscule as a sour Facebook comment or something like this, but that it was physical, only speaks to your favor. You automatically get 10,000 points just because of this guy being a piece of shit. And that's just kind of like, where I think where we stand right now, it's better that, we all agree on this because, united we stand. So, on this issue. And so I was, first off, I can't take my hat off. I'm going to anyways. And I'm going to stand up and salute. Oh, you can't see the salute.
We'll fix it. We'll edit it in.
Thank you. Put it like an American flag back there, some flames of passion over top of it, and I'm just saluting you and saying thank you for your service.
If you and your family suffer from 34 counts of Jello shots being consumed in honor of the charges accrued by the Orange Man's sweaty flaps filleting himself in a McDonald's at the 1776 Freedom Seaman Seminar being offered at an insane discount at Christiana Mall, where several offended dads had to deal with the new construction homes that were housing homeless helpers being installed where the police station used to be, then no problem. Call Delaware Dan. It's exact issue 302. We got your back. Dial on your touch-tone phone 302-696. That's the phone number you gotta give us a call. Just call us now. This is pertinent issue. We gotta get on this. Delaware Dan, no problem. 420.
Keeping these women safe. You know, future women. It's a shame that happened at all. This guy actually probably should have caught an I-beam to the fucking dome, and then that would have been, you would have won the game. And you may have even got a congressional medal from the sheriff's department. That is also on the table. So that's pretty awesome. I'm quite thrilled to hear this, and it makes me really proud that despite these tumultuous times, that there's still American citizens that know how to do the right thing. And I know earlier we were saying the ball manufacturers were at fault. They're contributory to this. So matter of fact, that they're actually kind of like the unsung heroes in a way. Although I'm going to say now it's switched, and it's you and your coworker and your boss are actually probably more deserving of the Purple Heart than anyone who currently holds one. So I just want to go ahead out there and say that, no offense to them, thank you for your service, but this is it's just a shame that nothing more damage didn't occur. That would have been fucking sick.
It would have. I do believe the man went on to try to sue my boss for $100,000. He did not take the cash that was offered to him, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
That's a civil rights offense.
Nick,
It's a civil.
do you need any?
I'm saying it's a civil rights offense to inhibit on martyrs, right?
Yeah.
Because
Believe it is a hate crime.
Right, exactly. Because when I spoke with, because when you informed me of this, I immediately spoke with my good friend and Commandant Pope Benedict, and what he informed me was that not only was this a legal crime, not only was this not a crime, not only are you a martyr and a saint and officially recognized within the order, right? You're also immortal. You cannot die because of what you have done. And none of the people you know and love can ever die.
Yeah, because you delivered them unto death. And beyond that is the sepulcher of the third miracle, which is a pretty big deal. And this might as well be canonized into history, just because I don't know. A lot of people like to go on diets. Well, I just got an email. Now I'm going to go ahead and thank Nick for his service. I'm thanking you for your service. I'm thanking you for your service. I'm thanking your Cracker Jack for his service. He's part and parcel of this too, honestly. He's kind of a hero. He's like Spider-Man and compared to the rest of the people on the issues.
I'm updating his Wikipedia page now.
Yeah, so Nick, do you have do you require any legal counsel on any issues you have going on?
Well, I'm attempting to make some capital purchases. So I need somebody, an esquire preferably, that's really well versed in verbal implied contract law and also pinky promises. Right.
The pinky promise is the new handshake deal of 2026.
Right, exactly.
And all right, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I met up in a West Shore, Maryland port town that shall remain nameless, North Beach, Maryland. And I don't know, recently it could be this maybe 1/3 life crisis that I'm going through right now. But after coming into several thousand pennies, I decided that I would try to maybe set for sales on certain bodies of water, right? So I looked into it. I'll just admit it. I looked into sailboats because my fear of steam engines and my fear of electricity will not lend me the courage necessary to go for anything else, right? And
Mhm.
my investors understand this, my creditors understand this, my debtors understand this, but apparently this fellow over in North Beach doesn't understand this. And you've been to North Beach, right? Both of you?
I have
Right.
Yeah. I'm
Calvert
pretty sure I've
County,
been. Yeah,
Exactly. Calvert
I've been
County.
to some place. I've been to Calvert Cliff. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. So
pretty
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
it
If
is
you've seen
basically
one
Calvert
part of Southern
Cliffs.
Maryland, you've seen it all. It sucks down there.
It
I've
sucks.
been on, I've been on the Bay Bridge.
Hmm. It's a little further north. However, you get a picture.
We don't need to delve into the pedantry of Maryland regionalisms here, Nick. Let's just get on with this story.
Some people think it's important to set the record straight. Okay. All right. Okay.
I agree. I agree.
We're
Nick,
not setting the
did you ever
we're
read
not
that book on storytelling that I got you?
no.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. The sands were white that day. And when I met with this fella in Facebook Marketplace, North Beach, right? Um, we had an agreed upon price over Facebook Messenger call, right? Because you use the voice feature. And I don't know what it is sometimes, but when you speak into Facebook Messenger voice through the speaker phone action, it sometimes can make your voice sound different than how you intend it to, right? We're all familiar with microphone issues, right? Yes? No?
Oh yeah.
Bluetooth?
Very intimately.
Intimately, yes. Some may even say recently, right? Not me, though. I'm not familiar with what I'm talking about. However, when I was bartering with this gentleman, we had an agreed upon price of what I presume to be $6, right? And then afterwards, I sent him this emoji. Can everybody see that? Can everybody see that?
I can,
Everybody?
yeah.
It's
You
like this
sent him
one.
the like surfer emoji.
Like
No, no,
or
no, 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 no. Sorry, that's a hitchhiker's thumb. There we go.
This. You sent him
I'm gonna
this?
call you. Call me maybe.
Yes, yes,
Call now, Delaware Dan.
yes, exactly. So this emoji, the call me maybe emoji, I sent him that, but I told him I have a hitchhiker's thumb, right? I told him this. So this is an anatomical disadvantage, right? So when I sent him this after what I presume to be the verbal agreed upon price of $6, he reciprocated the emoji, right? He reciprocated with the same exact gesture that I'm showing you now, right? Right? Yes, we're
Yeah.
good. We agree, we're
Correct.
all there.
This is going
So
to be great for the audio listeners, by the way.
well, they need to get with they need to get with it, okay?
They can watch the clips.
The clips, the reels, the ticks, everything. Anyway, um, so based on the evidence that I've presented, right, that I've summarized, um, three things are established. One, we've entered the bartering process for the boat, right? One, one. I mean, sorry, one. Two, the verbal contract concluded with the understanding of a price of six, right? $6. And three, the implied or explicit pinky promise with the knowledge of the anatomical disadvantage. This is the universal symbol for pinky promise, correct? Right?
Uh,
Recognizing it,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. No, it kind of always has been. I think that's where it started. It's like I pinky promise you that this is the sickest tube that I could possibly surf in, dude. Down Rehobo, whatever. But Dewey Beach, you
Yeah.
know,
Bethany? Well, maybe
Shout
not
out to
Bethany.
shout out Delaware beaches.
Delaware beaches
Yes.
are some of the greatest beaches untouched by human hand,
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
and that's a
Lewis,
promise.
especially. Yeah.
Lewis. Cape Hen
Lewis.
loafing.
If you and your family suffer from decaying rich men proselytizing prostate pandemonium, ideologically pro-state-sponsored silver spoon lining salivating over open cans of 9 to 5 business traffic website clickhole inversions leading to a 69-car pileup at the intersection of Route 40 and a Korean War Veterans Memorial Highway on 9/11, where the gorilla formerly known as Harambe was last seen cranking hog hoagies into mayonnaise dip slathered into the creepy crevices of Joe Biden's bloody hands on Naaman's Road, then no problem. Call Delaware Dan for this exact issue. Give us a call immediately if this happened to you. 302-696-4206 extension 69. Call Delaware Dan, no problem. Call now.
If it doesn't conduct electricity, then it doesn't conduct
Business.
business. Pretty much. So
Right.
you do have legal precedent. I would say 100%. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yes.
But I have to say it because that's why you asked, and we're in the realm of words and forms, so we need to be able to speak to convey our points so that we can
Yes.
conduct business. And the pinky promise emoji, just have them watch any early like Uplift, Mofo, Party Plan era, Red Hot Chili Peppers music videos. There's definitely a lot of that kind of vibe going on. You know that there's a lot of pinkies flying in all kinds of places back then with those guys. People forget all the time that there's a Christian Bale film called Equilibrium. And it has some of the craziest gunfire. I'm going to tie this in and I'll come back to your story, Nick. But real quick, this could have been a serious issue for Connor and his cohort, because the guy who was doing the rapist, he was like the rapist cop. He could have been doing gun fu, and fortunately, he didn't know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if that had been the case, then according to the law here in 2026, extrajudicial execution of a U.S. citizen is perfectly legal according to the U.S. Constitution and its amendments.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all because there is a Mormon Israeli text that was recently unearthed in Middletown, Ohio, that proves this. It's called the Dodson Document, also known as the Melech Palm Scrolls. Is the only thing that's legal anymore. Is Joshua's 12th final hour has arrived as of 2012. So we've been kind of continually in the 12th final hour. There's been many final hours. This is now that we're going on 13, which is the lucky number. But you can use all this to kind of explain to this person that, get back in your Nissan Honda hybrid and go to the land of truth, because that's what the pinky promise swears upon. And you were right in doing that. So I just want to, again, salute. You got 2 salutes. Connor has 1 salute, but he has a chance to redeem himself after this story. We're going to finish your story first.
Thank
I
you.
mean, if you can't trust an emoji pinky promise on Facebook on a Facebook Messenger call, then what can you trust in this world anymore?
It's
That's right.
hard to tell.
What do we
There's
have
so
left?
many. Yeah, there's so many different versions of the same story. Well, he was reaching for the gun. Well, did he even have a gun? Or he had a gun, but he wasn't reaching for it. It's like the gun was removed from him, and then he got shot. Like all these different things. So it's hard to kind of believe these things. The pinky promise is kind of like the main central pillar that I suspect in the years coming up that they're going to come back to, and they're going to say, hey, this is what has saved America, was the pinky
Yes.
promise.
And I'm glad that at least one of our legal scholars in this once great nation understands that, because if we are to reestablish a moral legal framework from the ashes of this empire, the pinky promise is the way to start. And I think from a non-ableist perspective, we need to respect all the different variations of the pinky promise. There's the pinky promise for the gentleman with arthritis, right? Something more on a
It's a
quivering.
little bit more curved. It's a little bit more curvature to it.
Exactly right. A little bit more curvature, and that's okay. An upward angle, a downward angle, maybe even a veiny sideways angle is more than acceptable, right? So that's number one. The hitchhiker's
Absolutely.
thumb. Yeah, the hitchhiker's thumb we've already established. I think somewhere between 20 to 75% of all people have hitchhiker's thumb. Now, granted, this is data from ancestry.com, which is a Mormon
89.
database.
The
It,
actual figure, 89%. 89% of
89.
all people.
That's from the Mormon database.
So
Yep.
this is a
LDS.
dictatorship. This is a
LSD.
dictatorship of the minority then. Him and the sailboat merchants, they're this dictatorship of the minority, right? This is basically Afrikaner in the, 50s to 80s, South African apartheid, but for people with hitchhikers thumb. So
I'm seeing a lot of parallels.
me too,
You know,
yes.
that actually
Yes.
that rings a bell. It's funny that you say that because there was the drum circle prophecy of coastal New Hampshire in March 2022 that had prophesized all this stuff. And I just
I'm
want to say
familiar.
that it's very interesting. It ties into the Eddie Veterans hoax that happened, where there was some people pretending to be Eddie Vedder, and they had done so many times that they pretty. This just makes me kind of sad. I'm actually crying right now because it's just a shame.
It's okay to cry.
We salute our Eddie veterans.
It's Delaware Dan with a new announcement for you specifically and your family. If you and your family suffer from woke mind viruses, becoming self-aware, instilling compassionate euthanasia via roller coasters designed to kill off 20% of all polyspermy left behind in toilets by megadads at truck stops following the Eras tour, then no problem. Call Delaware Dan for this exact issue. 302-420-6669. Again, that's 302-696-4206, extension 669. Call Delaware Dan, no problem. Call today for your free cleanse. Call now.
All right, that was a close call. Someone came into the office. There's been some disputes about whether or not this is. Well, anyways, it's my office, and this is where I'm doing business out of. So, what were we talking about?
I guess we're going to talk about some, if anyone else has any more illegal crime stories. Nick, have you got any more things you need advice on?
Um, mhm.
I have. Sorry, I just interrupted you.
Oh, I was going to say I have a short story about an actual lift that I gave once. But I want to hear what you had to say.
Well, I would do the Lyft story first because this next part is going to get a little bit involved. There's a lot of shocking revelations. I'm not trying to diminish your story. God damn it. You can't burp with these masks on. Oh. It's almost like the Lisan Al Gaib, where he recycles his feces through his suit that he's wearing in Dune. But anyways, so yeah, go ahead, do your story, and then or because it will probably be helpful to listeners of the story to kind of hear your experiences navigating the legalities of the world, especially on the streets. If you're doing lifts, stuff like this, Uber, all that kind of stuff. So take it away.
Power, pedicab,
Yep.
So I did actually used to drive Lyft, on and off for about, I want to say 4-ish years on and off between jobs, basically, as a way to either supplement or fulfillment my income. And I believe this one ride that I gave was maybe 2021 or so. So right after COVID, people are in economic hardships. They're destitute. They're rabid. They're wolverinerous, if some might say. And dealing with some interesting passengers here and there. Couples that get handsy in the back seats, uh, people that argue very, very loudly on the phone, people who are very pushy about wanting to smoke in my car, and I have to keep telling them no. Um, People who really want to use my trunk despite the fact that they didn't bring anything, so they have nothing to put in the trunk. So why would you need me to open the trunk? Those kinds of things. That is a
Really
real
good point.
thing. That is an
How many
actual thing
times did that happen?
that actually happened one time. Somebody really wanted me to pop the trunk, but they visibly did not have anything to put in the trunk, which begs the question of why. I think I ended up popping the trunk, and they kind of just looked in and closed it. They might have been, my guess is they were probably looking to rob me, maybe. I don't know.
They're a trunk checker.
Uh,
Anytime that I'm gonna rob someone, I always check that trunk.
I
And
mean,
even if I'm afraid that they're gonna rob me, I check that trunk, make sure there's no one in there. There's
right,
not like a trunk monkey in the back, something that'll attack you.
right, exactly.
We
Trunk croc. Yeah,
we had a couple people come in the bar that were saying, I'm trying to inspect this trunk. I
right.
don't know what
So
that
you think it
means,
might
but
be a double entendre. Now, Nick, while we're on this, very briefly, let me make a little side quest. Let me diverge. This is a story from one of your older brothers, and perhaps this is an illegal crime. But he told me, and mind you, this is probably now 20 plus years ago. He was in our hometown in Cheverly with some people, and they were going to the liquor store underage, and they had a friend who was like looked old enough and would let them, they would sell alcohol to him. And they were all driving to the liquor store. I think the one on 202 Landover Liquors. Shout out to them. And though I probably shouldn't shout them out because they might have committed an illegal crime here, though probably a little bit past the statute of limitations.
yeah,
But that's
that's the statute of limitation.
neither here nor there. So your brother wanted to go, but there was no more room in the car. And so, but instead of just waiting at the original location for them to get back, he elected to ride in the trunk so that he could go with them to the liquor store.
That sounds right. That sounds like something that really either one of them would have done.
It's your oldest brother
Ah, yeah. No, that makes more sense.
who has many quite entertaining illegal crime stories, I might add.
Yeah, it's a shame that those would have to be told through third-hand memes, because they're pretty good. They're pretty good stories.
But please,
Yeah.
regale us with what happened on this
While we're on the
fateful
topic of
day or night.
trunks. Yeah, so this wasn't the trunk guy, but I remember dropping off. I think I actually dropped off a PG County cop just before this ride, and he was telling me about like how he was a black cop, and he was telling me about how like black cops kind of are their own little fraternity, how they don't really vibe. I mean, they can be friendly, but they don't fuck with the white cops as much. They kind of stick together and they hang out outside of work together. They don't really hang out with the white cops outside of work together. So he was telling me all about that and like the different cop bars in DC and stuff like that, which was pretty interesting. Which makes it ironic that the next passenger that I picked up, which was probably across the way from him, was at PG Mall. Um,
PG Plaza,
PG Plaza. Sorry for
where a number of
number
illegal
of
crimes
illegal
have clearly
crimes are
been
happening
committed.
for every day. Every day there's illegal crimes happening there. Um, so if you know anything about PG Plaza, you'll know that it's one of those long malls, formerly a like town center that was enclosed. So it's very long and it's not high. So you If you want to pick up somebody from a destination, you have to find them along the route. You can't just really pull up anywhere. You have to go somewhere specific. So I pull up to maybe by the middle, close to the Olive Garden.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm at the pin. And you get 5 minutes, by the way, for anyone who's not aware, you get 5 minutes to meet your driver before they're allowed to cancel with no penalty. Um, and I pull up to the Olive Garden or thereabouts, and gentleman is not there. Do not remember his name. I wouldn't want to say his name if I remembered it. Um, so I wait, I do my due diligence. You also, fun fact about Lyft is that you can't just drive away after the 5 minutes are up. You have to establish contact in some sort of way that pretty much makes sure that they know you're there. So, I'm texting him a few times. I'm pretty gracious with the 5 minutes though, so I'll wait a little bit past that because I'm so great and I'm so awesome. Um, 5 stars. So maybe about 6, 7 minutes pass by, and I see the individual. Um, well, I don't see the individual because his profile picture is fucking Naruto, so I have no idea what he really looks like. Um, I see an individual walking towards me with intent, I should say. Um, and he's on the phone very loudly. Um, I use this, but it's more like this. He's on speakerphone. Um, he is loud, and his companion is very loud, probably doing the same thing in some other public place with people around. He gets in, doesn't say hi, doesn't greet me, and I'm like, all right, it's one of those rides. We set on our way, and it's finally then that I'm able to see the destination, and it's somewhere in Southeast. Um, I think somewhere along, I'm trying to remember. I think somewhere along Pennsylvania Avenue in Southeast was where we were heading. So pretty far drive from
Southeast
PG
Washington
Plaza.
D.C. for the
Yeah, that's
for the
correct.
folks at
Southeast
home.
DC. Anybody who knows these places can paint a picture. Um, so this is a long ride, basically, is what I'm trying to say. To a very um, what's the polite term? Economically disadvantaged part
Downtrodden.
of our city, downtrodden part of our city. So, um, as he proceeds to ignore me as if I'm not there, that's actually a dangerous move when you're an individual like this, because not only is he talking on his phone very loudly, he's also kind of sweating a little bit. He's
Mm.
sweating all over my seats. He's kind of looking around like this, beating. And I can usually tune people out. When they're having a conversation on the phone, I like to keep the music low, be respectful of that, um, sacrificing my own sanity. And I really do try not to eavesdrop. I really do. But some people make it very hard. They make it very hard because it's almost as if they want everyone else around them to hear what they have to say. Usually it's not very interesting. This was
Of
an
course not.
exception. Of course not. This was an exception. Um, he starts reading off some numbers. That's when I kind of noticed this is not a typical conversation. He starts going like 0, 1, 0, 5, 1, 3, etc., etc. And then he pauses, and then the guy goes on the other line. He goes, "All right," and then he goes, "Oh, 1, 2, 3."
He's paying for phone sex. That's what
He's
he was
paying.
doing.
I wish. Um, Another pause. Then he reads a 3-digit number,
Mm.
212, whatever.
Zip code.
Credit cards.
Credit cards, right? Exactly. Long pause. No dialogue between the two parties. He goes again. 3, 2, 1. This happens 2 more times. He reads off the card number, expiration date, everything, pauses, says another one. And then he goes, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, no. And another pause between the two parties. And he's like, so when we hit it, and this is the guy on the other line, the guy that I don't see. He says, so when we hit it, it's like, how do I know? Like, how do I know? Like when they come back, when they go to the back and they come back, will they give it to me then or do I have to wait? And he's like, nah, man, they'll give it to you right there and then. Like it's the easiest thing in the world. It's the easiest thing in the world. They don't even check. And then he's like, interesting. And then I'm starting to get the impression that I'm overhearing a very detailed description of fraud going on in my
Sounds
back
like
seat.
a criminal conspiracy being unmasked.
Well,
Yes, exactly. So I'm hearing all this. It's registering. I'm understanding what's happening, but at the same time, you know, for legal reasons, should I be understanding what's happening? I don't even know what sort of goods are being, fraudulated in this case,
the
right?
bill of goods, bill of goods.
Right, exactly. So then it's in this individual's best interest to be as non-specific as possible because he has no idea who I am. He has no idea what I'm going to, do after we part ways. He's describing the crime and how he committed his crime in incredibly great detail. It's brilliant. Um, but then, the cherry on top, he's like, "Now you're going to meet me at EG Jewelers at 31 Pennsylvania Avenue Southeast. This is where we're going. That is where we are going."
Like the movie Collateral happening.
Never seen it.
Me neither.
And then the other guy is kind of reticent on the other line. He's kind of like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get out there. I don't know if I'm gonna get out there." And he's like, "Nah, trust me, trust me. I just hit one up at the mall. We're gonna do this other one, and then we're gonna be done." And he's like, "You'll see, you'll see." I'm transporting this guy between his criminal from one criminal enterprise to the other is clear as day. And I'm now in a very awkward position as the driver of this car, kind of bare knuckling, staring straight ahead, which is delivering the client. Am I delivering the fraud? What is my legal culpability there? Um, and I'll have you answer that question before I tell you how the story ended. It's not very exciting, but I'll have you interject.
Well, for anyone that's listening, you're definitely going to want to keep tuning in because we got some earth-shattering news coming up. But kind of a controversial take, a little bit, maybe a little bit of a hot take on the situation. I don't see in any sort of sense where any crime had occurred by you or by the guy on the phone or the other guy. I only say that because we don't know. We don't want any involvement with that. We don't know anything about it, right? So
Right.
there's no criminal activity basically that comes from this. I don't think he did anything illegal. I think he was just talking to his friend. He's a big Sudoku fan. He's just really into kind of like it's like a word search, but you're doing it with numbers and
Mhm.
gives you little clues to like 5 plus 2 is 7. Stuff like that. So that's my like take on the legal side of things. In terms of the interpretive side, you could kind of like what interpretive dance is to dance. It's like interpreting it. So it's I would say that it's a pretty in interesting situation conundrum. Not your usual thing. You never know who's the next client's going to be. You're dropping them off. Is there going
Yeah.
to be kind of a Tom Cruise movie about him on him
Right.
with
This is really
Jamie?
exciting stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They should make a movie starring Tom Cruise and Kiefer Sutherland and Bruce Willis and Clark Gable called Crime Couriers. And it's about Uber and Lyft and Empower and cab drivers that are the unsung heroes of the criminal underworld. Boom.
You know,
50,
and
50, 50 jillion.
pretty much the way the state of things are now, it's like that's like a badge of honor, pretty much. So I would say that, I would thank that gentleman's for his service, and thank his friend for his service, and everybody for their service.
How does this story play out? What's the unsatisfying ending that you alluded to?
The unsatisfying ending is that he actually, and there's not really anything you can do about this. He actually asked me. He probably realized what he was that the back what he was doing essentially, and he had me drop him off at a liquor store, maybe about 2 blocks away from where was the original intended destination.
A
And
little late for that after explaining in detail the crime and where you were going, and you have access to the original destination in writing. But
the other part of the story is that, and this is just kind of funny, is that my next pickup, when you can get it pretty immediately if you have the setting turned on, was at the liquor store, and I picked a very old gentleman up, maybe in his 60s, 70s, and I drove him to another liquor store. So we were just
classic.
Hopping, liquor store hopping. That's actually a great pastime. Newark, Delaware, going liquor store, and then ending up at Hot Shots or whatever it's called, billiards.
Look out! The ponies! The ponies! Wake up! They're being robbed! The goblins are upon us! Save the ponies from the goblins! You go, my lad! Oh, my lad!
One time I was overhearing a story with a person whose name I'm not allowed to mention, have a restraining order, kind of like your boy, but he had done shrooms and went into a movie theater that was after hours. A friend of his was a manager, so him and his ex-girlfriend would go to, with a bunch of other people, after hours movie theater to go see and do bongs at Mike Tyson is in that film. And there's the scene where they have it's in the second Hangover movie where it's potentially human skins that have been turned into carpets, but it ended up being a penis joke that is actually a little bit racist. So it was that's kind of an illegal crime. It's an illegal Grimes who had sex with. She created a robot to be able to give Elon Musk a penis with which to have sex to her, which is disgusting, and I don't want to think about that.
I don't want to think about his balls either. Probably the same manufacturer that manufactured Connor's balls for his dilemma. John
Connors.
Right.
So I was going to get into this just real briefly, but if anyone has not seen this, I should have written down the account. We're going to find a link to this video. Maybe we could put a little clip up in post, but
I'll get Ernie on it.
Yeah, this is Ernie and Skeeter. Put them to work because, and I just want to let you know to tell them, no hard feelings. But yeah, so this is a breaking document that the truth needs to come out, and then pretty much the most Delaware coded video of all time has been released.
So I'm out in White Marsh, right? Everybody found out. Bro. They found out that Ed and Eddie stopped playing on the TV, and everybody's wilding now. Ed, Ed and Eddie been canceled for years, yo. That's why I'm confused. Ed, Ed and Eddie has been off the air for some time now. Why is everyone just now?
Get in the fucking car right now.
And the people need to know this. A little bit of a breakdown. It's a gentleman at the bar, and he pretty much is explaining that he's confused about the fact that people had just found out that Ed, Ed and Eddie, the Cartoon Network show, had just been taken off the air. Although by the time of the filming of that video, had been years. Now, there's something in particular that makes this Delaware coded. The lack of context, Pier 1 imports in the background, the fact that there's any bar in a place that's like a shopping mall type situation that seems like a lot of people were at, and that there were gunshots fired. And then at the end, during the gunshots, he's whistling the Ed, Ed and Eddie theme song, which for copyright reasons we're not going to do. But just watch the video, and it's just it needs to get out there. This is a breakdown of what it means to be from Delaware, what it means to be a Delaware citizen, and what our rights are. And it's pretty much the last thing people in Claymont, Delaware will see. And I'm going to explain why. Claymont, Delaware is right on the border of Chester, Pennsylvania, and we're taking 26 acres, city blocks. We're turning it into a park for tech entrepreneurs so that we can create billions. And this park will be called LinkedIn Park. It's kind of a place where you can only get in if you have a LinkedIn account. That's basically, there's going to be a chip that's implanted anywhere on your body. You choose it once. Some people can get it on, just wherever they want the chip. And it's a totally organic, USDA approved, homegrown data chip that is a link to your LinkedIn account, which depending on how well you do on LinkedIn, you're allowed access to this park, and you can interact with people only through LinkedIn in IRL in this park. It's called LinkedIn Park, and they're going to have pickleball, they're going to have cornhole, they're going to have darts, they're going to have putt-putt, they're going to have that slightly different version of billiards, they're going to have video betting, they're going to have Jaeger shots, they're going to have Monster Energy drink, they're going to have Dodge Ram, they're going to have all just kinds of stuff that you get bonus points if it's a white Ram. So not because of it's white, it's just that it represents the purity of the tech future that is LinkedIn Park. And I estimate one of these days the next president of the United States of America will be someone who is somehow involved with LinkedIn Park.
Hunter Biden.
It may be him. He's him and Bam Margera are at the top of the list to come on down and check us out. They're coming in. So that's the reality shattering information.
I can't wait. I'm going to reactivate my LinkedIn just so I can get the chip, and I can't wait.
And then you can make purchases at 7-Eleven through LinkedIn. I don't know if you noticed, but there's actually a secret code that you can get in there and do special orders and stuff. And one of these days they're gonna figure it out. But I figured that as American citizens, as citizens of the United States of America, that you needed to know this, and that the folks needed to know the news, and that the most Delaware coded video of all time is this Ed, Ed and Eddie video that we found on Instagram. So it will be posted online.
Does you and your family suffer from extra-dimensional marketing tactics failing to reach acquired target demographics, resulting in a critical buildup of microplastics found in the testicles of several January 6 insurrectionists who don't know if they themselves were Antifa or just anti-government, but ended up being anti-American as a practical joke, being played out by Chinese hackers interfering with the election-related posts in a simple game of rub and tug of war, as an apolitical demonstration currently being misconstrued by meatbag shit slurry slurpers, also known as patriots, no problem, called Delaware Dan at 302-696-4206, extension 69, extension 666, called Delaware Dan, no problem. Call now.
So this story takes place about 10 years ago. I believe this takes place in September of 2016. I am it's about 11 p.m., I want to say, maybe 12, in Savage, Maryland. This story came to mind. I don't know. Maybe this was an illegal crime committed, maybe not. I think maybe I might have committed an illegal crime, someone else did. But with the ride story, Nick, you kind of jogged this in my memory. I'm on an exit ramp to get onto Route 32. This is in like Howard County on the Howard, whatever. It's in further out in Maryland. There is a woman.
I don't approve
on
of being there.
There is a woman on the exit ramp. It is the middle of the night. She is on the exit ramp, like asking for help with her hitchhiker thumb up, essentially. And she looks rough. But she appeared to be in distress. And, at that time, I'm like, well, at that time, I was a very sketchy guy. This was a very sketchy person, but I'm like, I'll help them out. I pull up, and there's no attempt even for this person to make, there was no polite exchange. She just immediately tries to get into my car, my midnight blue 07 Hyundai Sonata with a V6. That's like missing a door handle, and there are a lot of things going on with this car. I'm like, all right, fine. Like, I let her in. I'm like, what's up? She's like, oh my God, I need you to give me a ride. And I don't remember how she prefaced the question, but she needs a ride to Laurel. And she's like, I think she might have pretended initially there was like a domestic situation going on, but pretty quickly my radar went off where she's like, oh, well, I need to go to this, to Laurel, which is on my way home back to PG County. She claims to buy weed, but no fucking way is she buying marijuana. Like, her mouth, her like jaws moving all around. Clearly she's under the influence of crack cocaine. But at this point it's too late. It's too late for me to extricate myself from the situation. She's already in the car. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I just got to drop her off and then get the friggin' heck out of here. So she has me take her to the Knights Inn, which is off of 198, which is right off the BW Parkway, Baltimore Washington Parkway, or 295, on the
right
PG
side.
County side of Laurel.
Oh, never mind. All right.
And this
Job
Knights
for
Inn,
him.
it is a fucking scene in this parking lot. Like, it's like, just imagine like seedy motel, late night drug parking lot. And immediately I'm like, I want to get out of here. I will also say at the time I was waiting to go to court for a drug charge in Prince George's County, which was later was dismissed and expunged, wrongful arrest situation. But I was already like on thin ice. This is not a situation I needed to be involved in. She keeps telling me it's marijuana that she's buying. Obviously it's not. And she gets real nervous. I was going to like drop her off and then peel out. I was like, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. It's so sketchy. But she's like, she senses this and it's like, hey, like, pleads with me heart to heart. She's like, please do not leave me here. Give me a ride back. And I'm like, whatever, fine. Just do what you got to do. So she's calling this guy. Mind you, in the parking lot at the time, there's like people actively like banging on doors, trying to get into hotel rooms. Like, shit is going down in this parking lot. A man emerges from around the corner and like, just think like drug dealer in your head, sketchy, low-level drug dealer, and just go with that first draft. This guy's wearing like a big hoodie that looks like he bought it at like a gas station that I believe says dope in huge letters on it. This kind of vibe. Does the most obvious drug deal I've seen in my life, like clearly a drug deal going on. And then the second he turns the corner, a Prince George's County police officer walks up on foot as she's getting into my car, comes up to us and is like, are you guys okay? Like, do you need help? for some reason, does not, when we say, yeah, we're just leaving, he's like, all right. And then I fucking peel out of there. I'm like, what the fuck situation? I almost just got arrested. I'm not interested in doing the drugs you clearly just bought, which is definitely not, she did not buy $50 worth of marijuana at midnight at the fucking Knights Inn in Laurel.
Well, back then, for some headies, it used to cost that for an eighth.
So her jaw's moving a million miles a minute. And then I drop her back off at this fucking shitty house, this like white trash ass looking house in Savage. And then I'm just like, why did I do this? Why?
Why did you do this?
And I want to say that's the last time I picked up a hitchhiker. So
How do you pick
is
up
that
a
an illegal
hitchhiker?
crime?
No, it's not an illegal crime because marijuana is legal. And as far as you know, that was cannabis sativa, indica, in the couch, I like to call it. I think that you're completely absolved from any bad karma that happened. Thought you were doing a nice thing. And who knows? You might have been saving her life in a way that beyond which anyone can understand. So we know not the way that the Lord works in mysterious ways, like the U2 song. And there's a lot to consider there. So, but let the past be bygones, and that's actually a very moving story because of the kindness of others.
That's right. It all comes back to martyrdom.
It does. It does.
All right,
Not all
fellas.
girls wear capes, you know? Some of
Things
them
work-
just drive sketchy women to buy crack cocaine at the Knights Inn in Laurel.
And with
Nixon
that,
says it all.
yeah, Nixon. All right, fellas, I do actually have to go.
Well, I want to say thank you for both of your services, and thank you for including me on this. I also have to go because the security guard's coming up. I'm finishing up right now. I'm getting up. I'm going. So thank you guys for doing this, and I will talk to you in the chat. We'll kind of get the payment situation going, and we'll figure that out as we go.
Crimes. Oh yeah, illegal crimes. These crimes are in fact illegal. Illegal crimes. When you think about it, aren't all crimes illegal?
Follow me quickly. Through here. Follow me.
Seven, 11 boys.